the time of Sfiras HaOmer, Rabbi Yaakov Haber from Torah Lab put out the Sfiros app. From here, it'll tell you not only the days of the Omer, where you can count the bracha with the day of the Omer, but it gives you insights, things to think about for personal growth through the time period of counting of the Omer as we get closer to Har Sinai on Shavuos. Now, this is the native program, iBooks, that comes with the iPhone, not a Jewish program. As you can see, I have a library that's empty. I decide I want to fill the library. So, what do? I go onto their website, and I say, find me digital books that I can download. So I look for Jewish books. I look for art school. I have choices from Rebitz and Youngreis, Mordechai Becher, Noach Weinberg, Pesach Krohn. These are all well-known art school titles. And with just a tap of the button, I can purchase it, and it'll download right to my phone or my iPad. And a moment later, I have the book. And I want to start reading the book, so I turn the first page. Life has always been full of challenges. In earlier days, man had to escape from wild animals. Today, he has to escape from oncoming traffic. It's the wisdom of Rabbi Tversky. But just like that, I can access libraries. Turn the page, one page at a time, as if it were a real book. I also downloaded Rabbi Emanuel Feldman's book on Judaism. And again, we start off where he says, in other words, the farther a person has been from God, the more honor he displays when he returns to it. Brilliant, insightful wisdom that by just tapping on buttons, we can study and we can read. Let's say you have a person who's a mourner who wants to say Kaddish. They don't know how to recite the Kaddish prayer. So they download the iKaddish, it's called, and automatically it has the Hebrew and the English, and there's a voice that actually pronounces, and the words light up for every word. Yisgadal, the Yiskadash, and you can keep practicing it over and over. You can even select, do you want Ashkenaz, do you want Sfard, do you want Hasidic, and it'll give you all the different types of dialects and pronunciations. Person's going on a trip, go ahead and say Tfilas Haderech, the Traveler's Prayer. It's also right there. There's another Luach app, and you can see it found Charleston, South Carolina, and it'll tell me the day of the Omer, Hebrew date, the English date. It tells me Shabbos is coming. We've got next week's Shavuos. Tells me what time candle lighting is. Tells me what time Shabbos is over. What a handy tool to have. You can listen to music. Judy, I'm sure you're familiar with JM in the AM. Online music. Just by streaming it, you can tap on a button, and it's as if you have like in your car and you turn on the radio, but it's Jewish radio. Another one I discovered, Jewish rock radio. And they have dozens of different streaming radio sites that you can listen to Jewish music, as well as Jewish lectures. You can listen to Yiddish music, Hebrew music, again, just from tapping the button, and suddenly your iPhone becomes this beacon for producing Jewish music. Now, the way that you find all these different apps is in a place called the Apple Store, the iStore, and you're able to search for different things. I search for Jewish, and I have a tikkun if I want to practice how to lay in the Torah, the Mishnah, Gematria. You want to figure out numerology to calculate numbers of Hebrew words. They have apps for everything. Person wants to learn to read the Torah. There's an app for that too. You tap on the button and it lights up, and you can be trained in the truck. You have a bar mitzvah boy who's being a little lazy, doesn't want to study, so you say, here, put this onto your iPhone, practice. And he can sit on his own and listen to the truck until he becomes an expert. A person is traveling and they want to find out where the nearest mikveh is. There's an app for that, and it'll tell you exactly where the mikveh is, the name, the address, phone number, etc. Here's one of my favorite ones, Parovometer. See what you do? You press the timer button when you finish eating meat, and then 6 hours later, or 3 hours, based on what your minhag is, it'll beep and alert you saying, you may now eat dairy. This app is unbelievable. There's a front-facing camera on the phone. So if you hold it in front of you, you can take a picture of yourself. So what our friends at Rusty Brick did is they put these lines straight down the center of it. So you hold it up and you can check to measure whether your tefillin are lined up centered where they're supposed to be. I think my tefillin are straight, but my head is crooked. But you can just draw that imaginary line, like see a green line on the left, you can see that it goes straight down from the middle of the tefillin, straight down between my eyes. Beinei necha, the way that the Torah and Shema tells us to wear the tefillin shel rosh. So it's, again, a fun little app. But here's one of my favorite. Just discovered this. It's called Make Me Frum. And it's a joke, and they actually give a little warning, caution. They tell you not to make fun of people or embarrass them or hurt their feelings. That's against the Torah. So only do this in jest, and in a positive way. What does it allow you to do? It allows you to put yarmulkes and shaitels on people. So, I found a nice picture of Mar Shlomi, my guinea pig. And with just a touch of a button, I can put a yarmulke. He may not like that. That's actually a real picture. Michael Berry didn't like that. Okay. Now I took one for the women also. So Aliza, right? So for people that want to see, maybe I should start wearing a shaitel. Would it look good on me? What color? What? I can play around with it. And so at the tap of a button, you're wearing a shaitel, and you can try all sorts of different styles and colors. So there it is. Make Me Frum. That's the name of the app. Now, one of the cool things that the iPhone has is a compass. Now, as a Jew, how is a compass going to help me unless I'm stuck in the desert for 40 years? So they figured out a way that the compass can help us as well, but not in the traditional sense. They have a Mizrach compass. Why do we need to know which way is Mizrach, is east? Because that tells us which way to daven. Jews are always supposed to daven facing Israel. And if you're in Israel, you're supposed to face Jerusalem. And if you're in Jerusalem, you're supposed to face the Temple Mount. And if you're on the Temple Mount, you're supposed to face the place of the Holy of Holies. This little device, the blue line, it'll turn and light up when you're facing the Holy of Holies. So anywhere you are, not only if you're in the United States, if you are in Jerusalem, it'll point you exactly towards the place that you're supposed to face when you daven. Just an amazing use of the technology that's available to us. Now this is an app by the Western Wall Heritage Foundation, and we're just wrapping it up here. Again, being Yom Yerushalayim today, let's talk about Jerusalem. You can send a note to the Kotel from your phone. You sit and you write a note. So I wrote a note here. I wrote, please bring Mashiach. Love, Charleston Jews. Amen. So we have the app, and you click the button, and it sends it. And the note gets delivered to the Western Wall, and they actually fold it up and put it into the wall for you. It just gives you another connection. Maybe you don't feel like opening the Siddur app and davening the prayers in Hebrew, but you can write a note saying, God, give me strength. Anyone can daven. Through your phone now, you have a new connection. Another amazing feature that it has is this is a live streaming in real-time video of the Kotel with audio. I spoke to my mom earlier. She said, I'm watching right now on my phone. You can hear the singing and dancing of all the people at the Western Wall. Thousands of people were filling this up earlier today. And they're moving as if we're sitting here together in the same place in real time. And it's a streaming video. It's just amazing to see. So the question is, why might Hashem have given this incredible technology to our generation? Why didn't our great-grandparents have this? Why didn't Moshe Rabbeinu come down from Mount Sinai with 2 iPads? Behold, I give you the 2 tablets, right? Why did God not give it to previous generations? So there's a concept from the Talmud known as Yeridus Hadoros, which is a decline in the spiritual quality of people from one generation to the next. In other words, the farther we get from Sinai, the more that there's a deterioration of the very fiber of our tradition. And the Gemara in Shabbos, page 112b, says, said Rav Zera in the name of Rava, the son of Zemun, if the early generations, right, the Rishonim, the earliest generations, were like princes, then we, the later generations, he said, are like regular people. However, if the early ones were like regular people, then we must be comparable to donkeys. Now this was said 2,000 years ago. Ergo, if they were compared to donkeys, what does that make us? I'm not going to answer that. But it makes you wonder how we're losing touch with our tradition. Now today's younger generation, they may all have iPhones, but they're not into Judaism. And God is saying, all right, kid, let me make it easy for you. You need a siddur? You need a class? You want to learn how to read Hebrew, to recite Kaddish, to do mitzvot, to send a note to the Western Wall? I'll make it easy for you. And so the technology that God gave us, say, have yours, perhaps that's why God blessed us with such technology, so that Torah remains accessible to all Jews, leaving us with no excuse not to study Torah and observe the Torah and mitzvah. So in conclusion, we say Baruch Hashem for Apple, and a special thank you to Steve Jobs, or as we can call him, Rabbi Steve Jobs. Or my favorite one. You would love to see what has become of his technology. So, thank you all very, very much for joining us today. We appreciate it. And if anyone has any questions, I'll be happy to try to answer them. But I do hope that we take advantage of the technology that's out there to use it as an opportunity to bring ourselves closer to God. Thank you.
Get a commission, Ross Seals?